Da-da-da, da-da-da,
You're watching Cover 2 with your host, Katie Baird.
Welcome to this week's episode of Cover 2, where we cover you and your fantasy league. Christmas edition! Is there music there? I hope there's music there, because otherwise that looks stupid. Well, the first week of the playoffs is complete. So let's get started with this week's playoff scores. The top-seeded Penguins Rule defeated the Zambonis 96-88. It's all a big blowout. The Zambonis needed a combined 17 points from Sidney Rice and the Vikings DST on Sunday night against Carolina, but they only scored 4 each, and the Zambonis fell short. Last-minute substitution, Philip Rivers led the Penguins with 26 points, but Eli Manning, who was moved to the bench, scored 2 more with 28. Reggie Wayne also added 19, thanks largely to a late touchdown. Jamal Charles and Vincent Jackson led the Zambonis with 22 points each, but they only had one other player score in the double digits. In the other semifinal, third-seeded Icy Ninjas demolished the second-seeded Janelle's Jets, 126-57. That's pretty rough, Dad. Peyton Manning's 34 points for the Ninjas was far and away the highest score in this game. The Ninjas also had no player score below 7 points. Janelle got 12 points from the Cardinals DST and 11 from Kurt Warner, but no one else scored in double digits. D'Angelo Williams was injured and finished with only 1 point, while new addition Mohamed Massaquoi, is that it? Good, was even worse with a big fat 0. Worse than his name? I don't think so. 57 points was Janelle's lowest of the season and unfortunately came at the worst possible time. Now let's check out this week's other scores. Now this section's going to be quick because really nobody gives a crap about the consolation games. It's just a winning of the losers basically. There were 3 games in the consolation bracket, and each of the 3 favorites did win. Well, that's good. The Oilanders defeated the lowly Tension Echoes 95-60. Get Your Popcorn Ready was able to hold off a resurgent from the Screaming Eagles 117-105. Lastly, the Lucid Bogies put up a great score, but lost to the Unstoppable Pats 123-111. That's it. Now it's time for Kickoff Corner, where we preview next week's upcoming matches. It's the big one! That's right, it's the big one. This game is for all the marbles. The season's championship game features Penguins Rules versus Icy Ninjas. Oddly enough, this is a rematch of Week 8's lame game of the week, won by Penguins 85-70. Let's hope for a better game this week, and one won by Icy Ninjas. The first-seeded Penguins Rule are definitely the favorite for this one, as they entered this week on an amazing 9-game winning streak and had a higher score than the Icy Ninjas 9 out of 14 weeks in the regular season. Can the Ninjas pull off an upset and win their second championship in 3 years? Stay tuned, sports fans. Now let's move on to this week's and the finals owner spotlight of the week. Sorry, we don't have anything, fun or funny for you this week on owner spotlight, so it might be a little lame, but pay attention anyway, okay? This week's spotlight is on Thomas McGlinchey, owner of the Oilanders. Tom is from, you guessed it, Orland, PA, and is a Temple University alumnus. Tom is a big sports fan. He currently works as a sports writer for a local newspaper company and has previously worked on NFL films. Why didn't we get him to write this show? I just got stuck with this guy. This may be his first year in this league, but he is in fact a very experienced fantasy football player. Now I know he missed out on the playoffs this year in our league, but that was mostly due to some unfortunate luck, as he finished first in the breakdown standings and second in total points. I mean, come on, that's impressive. First and second. Well, that is our show for this week. Sadly, I know you all already realize this. Next week is the last episode of Cover 2 for this season. I know. You're all crying on the inside, like me. But until then, thanks for tuning in to Cover 2, where we cover you and your fantasy league. See you next time. And until then, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And if you're a Jew, well, that sucks to be you. I gotta go. I have some presents I gotta go play with. Thanks, Santa.